I can see some familiar names and some new names joining. Hi, Amber. Lovely to see so many names and people joining. We'll give it another minute. Hi, everyone. Yep, I think we might get started. Let me just close this. Welcome to the UN Global Compact Network Australia and this open house webinar. We are presenting to you from the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and pay our respects to elders past and present. If you like, please share your name, your company name, and where you're joining from in the chat window. This presentation is for both existing participants of the UN Global Compact as well as for interested organizations. Next slide, please, Lara. Thank you very much. My name is Greta Westcott. I'm the Senior Manager Engagement at the UN Global Compact Network Australia, or UNGCNA. With me on this call are Farah Dirgantoro, Engagement Coordinator, and Lara Taylor, Senior Analyst. For those of you who don't know us yet, please meet the team. We are 14 colleagues based in Melbourne, Hobart, and Sydney. Next slide, please. We also have two guest speakers joining us today. Vanessa Main, in charge of sustainability and environment at participating organization Calix, and UNGCNA's Dr. Evan Center, Head of Environment and Climate Change, who will be speaking with Vanessa about her experience as a participant of our Climate Ambition Accelerator. Next, please. Thanks. Today, I'll briefly cover an overview of who we are, what we do, and the benefits of membership before Evan will speak with Vanessa. For the Q&A session at the end, you can use the chat function at the bottom of your screen to ask questions and access the links to materials and events that Farah will be posting. And we'll get to these questions at the end. The session is being recorded, and the links and recording will be shared with everyone who has registered. So even if you have to drop off, you can get this registration link later, recording link rather. If we cannot get to your question during today's webinar, we will respond to you afterwards. So with that, let's get started. Next slide, please, and then click next again. Thank you. A quick recap of who we are and what we do. The UN Global Compact was launched at Davos 25 years ago, so a quarter of a century ago, by former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan with a bold vision: to unite businesses around the world in advancing human rights, labor standards, environmental stewardship, and anti-corruption. What started as a bold call to action has become the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative. Together, the UN Global Compact and the founding companies developed a set of principles which would form the basis upon which responsible business would operate. Next slide, please. The principles at the heart of the UN Global Compact are built on the pillars of human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. These 10 principles are a common ethical and practical framework for operationalizing corporate responsibility. They are derived from UN declarations and conventions, and they represent the fundamental values that business should embed in their daily strategies. And click once more, please, Lara. Also, the UN Global Compact has the mandate to deliver the private sector contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. This United Nations framework is a set of goals that articulate clearly what it is that we mean by the world that we all want. They represent aspirational long-term targets for business and other stakeholders to work together towards creating a more sustainable and equitable world. Next slide, please. Since that time of early leadership and development of the UN Global Compact 10 principles, many organizations have joined, and we now count over 25,000 companies across 160 countries as our members. In Australia, we have over 360 participants in our membership. Business today, 25 years later, operates in a world defined by volatility, shifting regulation, political and geopolitical uncertainty, disrupted supply chains, rising expectations from investors, customers, and communities. Sustainability has moved from good to go to business critical, shaping strategy, capital access, competitiveness, and resilience. Next slide, please. So how do we assist Australian businesses? The programmatic offering of the UN Global Compact Network Australia covers the following 3 work streams: environment and climate change, business and human rights, and sustainability governance, respectively the E, the S, and the G. You might be wondering how we decide what to focus on each year. We look at global trends, UN frameworks, and emerging legislation. We also look towards the horizon to spot emerging issues to ensure that we can prepare our businesses for what's next. One of the most important things we do is talk to our participants to hear about what is on your mind, any pain points, challenges, but also opportunities and achievements. This input helps us to shape our offering, which is designed to help you to become strong, at-scale private sector leaders, ready to be ambitious, innovative, and to form partnerships for the goals. To give you a couple of examples of offerings and activities in each of these work streams, let's start with the ECC stream, so Environment and Climate Change stream. And I've just picked a couple of examples. This is not the full suite. Firstly, to help Australian businesses navigate evolving sustainability reporting standards and expectations, the UNGCNA hosts a Sustainability Reporting Community of Practice, or SRCOP in short, in collaboration with the ASX and Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand. This community of practice provides a collaborative and trusted environment where members can access insights, share challenges, and explore solutions to meet both mandatory and voluntary reporting requirements. The SRCOP is available on a rolling annual subscription. You can join at any time. It's free for participants, so you get 2 free spots, but it's available to non-members as well, but at a cost. There's, of course, the Climate Ambition Accelerator. We'll get to that one in a minute. In our business and human rights work stream, I want to highlight 2 things today. Firstly, we run a modern slavery community of practice for both SMEs and corporates. There is an implementing and optimizing stream depending on your assessed maturity in this space, and of course the SME stream for companies who technically don't have to report against the Act. Then secondly, we hold an annual dialogue on business and human rights, the next one in late October this year here in Melbourne. This is a full-day event for practitioners in charge of managing supply chains, grievance mechanisms, due diligence, and modern slavery. And then thirdly, in the sustainability governance work stream, the focus this year is very much on our 2 greenwashing courses called Greenwashing: Time to Stop the Spin Cycle. The Australian version of the course offers a facilitated cohort experience where you'll learn from experts and peers about crafting a strong ESG narrative, avoiding greenwashing, and contributing to global sustainability. Designed for Australian business professionals in areas like marketing, operations, compliance, finance, and sustainability. The international version of the course includes a global self-paced model that focuses on greenwashing enforcement and the risks it poses. So you gain the skills to protect your organization from legal, reputational, market risks while promoting responsible ESG communication. But to get to our Climate Ambition Accelerator, or CAA as we call it, let's jump to the next slide. We are pleased to announce that registrations are now officially open for the 2026 Regional Climate Ambition Accelerator in Australia and Aotearoa, New Zealand. This 6-month program, running from June to November 2026, is designed to move companies beyond basic commitments and towards setting science-based targets aligned with the 1.5-degree pathway. Whether your organization is just starting its sustainability journey or looking to refine existing targets, this accelerator provides the technical expertise and peer network to make net zero by 2050 a reality. Please note that your organization is required to be a participant of the UN Global Compact Network Australia to join. So this is a member-only offering. Why should you join the cohort? So mandatory climate reporting has brought renewed interest in the Climate Ambition Accelerator, which facilitates legitimate organizational transition efforts and can maximize value from climate reporting efforts. Led by us at the UN Global Compact Australia, with technical expertise from ERM, the program offers a blend of global best practice and bespoke local context. Participants will gain deep dive training, so practical sessions on GHG accounting, scopes 1, 2, and 3, and the SBTI methodology, flexible learning, a total commitment of about 25 to 30 hours, including 7 hours of on-demand self-paced learning and 6 hours of facilitated group sessions. And thirdly, internal engagement support, so strategies to engage your board and management to drive climate ambition from the top down. Now, we will share the links on how to register and by when to register, which is the 29th of May, in the chat window. So for a full breakdown of the curriculum and the FAQs, you can go to the program page, which will be shared, as well as the fees and so forth. Now, I don't want to lose any more time. Let's jump to the next slide, because we want to hear from our guest speakers today. On the call, we have Vanessa Main, Sustainability and Environment at Calix, and Dr. Evan Center, Head of Environment and Climate. Vanessa is the Sustainability and Environment Manager at Calix Limited, an environmental technology company solving global challenges. She designs, implements, and leads sustainability and environmental management initiatives across the organization, working with global teams to drive sustainability performance and support Calix's mission. Dr. Evan Center is an experienced environment and climate change professional with expertise in environmental research, strategy, and partnerships. At the UNGCNA, Evan manages our activities and programming related to environment and climate change in alignment, of course, with the SDGs and the UN Global Compact Network's 10 principles. Evan, over to you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Greta. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you that I haven't met yet, I'm Evan. Thanks for joining us today. And it is great to have you on this webinar with one of my favorite people, Calix's own Vanessa Main. Vanessa, thank you for joining us to talk about your Climate Ambition Accelerator, or CAA. We love an acronym, so I'll probably switch back and forth. But thanks for joining us to talk about your experience. Now, in 2025, just last year, you participated in the Climate Ambition Accelerator, and we'd like to hear more. So first, my first question, I'll pose it to you, is what motivated you and Calix to join us at the Climate Ambition Accelerator? Where was your organization on its climate journey, and what were you hoping to achieve?
Hi, Evan, Greta, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. So as Greta kindly mentioned, my name is Vanessa and I am the Sustainability and Environment Manager here at Calix Limited. We're a technology company building businesses that help solve global challenges in decarbonisation and sustainability. And prior to joining the Climate Ambition Accelerator, we had completed 3 greenhouse gas assessments or inventories in 2022, 2023 and 2024. As alluded to, we are a global organisation. We operate across 4 continents with 11 operational sites, and anybody who's done any sort of work in the climate space would understand that having so many operational sites across regions, it's actually really difficult to begin a climate transition plan and a greenhouse gas assessment. So our first two initial greenhouse gas assessments really identified gaps that we had in data collection and provided an opportunity for us to build out our internal structures to ensure that the way that we collected our data was consistent across all of our regions. Following our first two assessments in FY24, we completed a greenhouse gas inventory that we felt was very complete. We were satisfied that we had a relatively complete data set and that our boundary was appropriate for our organisation. And that was when we decided to join the Climate Ambition Accelerator. And there were two sort of key motivations for us. Firstly, we were confident in our ability to collect our data, but we are a mandatory climate reporter looking towards reporting in the Group 3 section of climate reporting. And we are aware that we do need to be able to externally assure our data, particularly our Scope 1 and 2 greenhouse gas data in the first year of reporting. So we wanted to make sure that we had built those internal capabilities to feel really confident that we were able to present data that was ready to be assured. And secondly, once you've created your baseline year, the logical next step is to start developing your climate transition plan. So we were really hoping from the accelerator to just build our internal capabilities and put a few more tools in our toolbox to make sure that we were prepared to complete those two next pieces of work.
Oh, Vanessa, that is so helpful. You ran the gamut there. We got identifying our gaps, data collection and assurance, boundaries, reporting, capability building, and that next step that's so important is our climate transition plan. When you were in the Climate Ambition Accelerator, what stood out to you in Calyx when you were working through some of these issues? You had several years of experience. You're moving on. What were some of the most valuable things that you got out of that?
The course delivery, if I can speak about that for a moment, was really beneficial for our organisation, particularly the pre-work modules. The way they were delivered, there's pre-recorded video content as well as PowerPoint content that we could consume at our own pace. That worked really well for us because we could take our time through it and apply our learnings in real time as we were starting to develop our transition plans. But the opportunity to meet monthly with peers in a similar position to us and work together to discuss their own opportunities, their strategies, and some challenges made it much easier for us to bounce our ideas off others and be up to date with what other people in industry are also doing. At the end of the day, climate change is a real global challenge, and we're all working towards the same goal. So having a forum where we could come together as professionals to discuss our own challenges was really beneficial for our organisation in our journey.
Fantastic. That's super helpful. Now, the Science-Based Targets Initiative is essentially, the gold standard for transition efforts, but not, it's a process, and not every organization can set a science-based target at the end of this, although there are a lot of valuable things that you can learn from that. I would love to hear some of those value points outside of setting a science-based target that you and Calyx really were able to hone in on through the Climate Ambition Accelerator.
Yeah, great question. With our first three inventories, we engaged with a carbon accounting consultancy to assist us in the calculations, in synthesizing our data and helping to analyze it and develop some strategies to reduce our emissions. But since completing the Climate Ambition Accelerator, we have started to bring that entire process end to end in-house. So our FY25 greenhouse gas inventory is almost complete, but we have done all of the data collection, all of the calculations, and written our report and developed our reduction strategies ourselves in-house. So what I would say about the Climate Ambition Accelerator is it has really helped us develop our internal capabilities and put all of those extra tools in our toolbox that we feel really confident heading into mandatory climate reporting, that we're in the best possible position to do it successfully.
Oh man, that is music to my ears. I feel like I don't hear a lot of Group 2 and Group 3 entities, especially, but actually a lot of our Group 1s use the word confidence in climate reporting. But I think we're developing that, and I think we're really getting there. So it's really good to hear about some of those things that you developed. Now you're working through, you mentioned earlier on your climate transition plan as kind of that next step as a part of our reporting efforts. For organizations that are considering joining our next cohort in June, you're involved with Calyx in both our sustainability reporting community of practice and or you were in the Climate Ambition Accelerator. So for organizations that are looking to leverage both of those activities and with mandatory climate-related financial disclosure now in full effect, what would you advise them that are looking to join either as part of their general transition planning efforts, as part of extending the support they receive in the sustainability reporting community of practice? What would you say to them based on your experience?
I would say that mandatory climate reporting is really challenging, and there's not much that we can build off at the moment because our Group 1 reporters are only just starting to release their first climate reports. I would say that you need to give yourself lots of time to build your internal capabilities. And for us, the Climate Ambition Accelerator was a really good first step for us in assuring that we are in the best possible position to report. But being part of the sustainability community reporting community of practice, I should say, has been tremendously beneficial for us to be able to meet with leading experts and get that guidance from them, as well as talk to our peers in industry as well, and all work together to try and reach this global goal of living a lot more sustainably and operating our businesses more sustainably as well.
Vanessa, that was super helpful. I wish you the best as you continue your reporting efforts. We'll have a great session at our conference in Sydney on those leveraging our climate reporting efforts. And this transition piece is just so important to get right. So I've just been really impressed with you and Calyx for the effort that you have gone through to put this together. And thanks so much for coming on and sharing with us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Vanessa. All right. So if you're not familiar with the Climate Ambition Accelerator, Lara, if you could move us to the next slide. There's just essentially 5 components here. First off, we set the scene. To quote one of my favorite people, if you can do accounting, you can do GHG accounting. And in that setting the scene part, you really get a good overview. And I would actually argue for those of you that can't do accounting or GHG accounting, there's a lot of value in there as well. So when you get to those pre-modules, as Vanessa mentioned, you have that independent learning, and then we can come together and work through some of the issues. You'll have a time to respond, try to figure out what you're doing. So if you're managing your GHG inventory, you can kind of move on to that second set where you can move through setting a science-based target in your emissions management, whilst SBTI can be very valuable for a lot of corporations. As Vanessa reminded us, understanding the SBTI's available tools and methodologies and working through your own emissions management processes with support can also be really, really helpful. So this is something, even if you're not looking to set a science-based target yet, you can still see the methodologies, you can still get a handle on your emissions management, you can still then produce your own case studies, and we can bring them in with the ERM supporting us, and then we'll wrap up the sessions with a few examples, and then you'll get a nice fancy certificate at the end. So please join us for our Climate Ambition Accelerator. Lara, you can move us to the next slide. If you are interested in learning more or signing up, go ahead and scan that QR code, and Lara Taylor, our fantastic Climate Ambition Accelerator lead, who we've roped in to do the slides for this session as well, will get in touch. Links will be shared again via the follow-up email that we'll be sending out to each of you. And I cannot emphasize enough the value of programs like the Climate Ambition Accelerator for working through decarbonization or transition efforts. For example, if we return to GHG management, this is a keen topic for our sustainability reporting community of practice. We're doing a few things in there. We're doing something on that really, really soon in an open office hour. But just today, we even sent through a handful of exclusive invites to some of our Group 2 and Group 3 corporates in the SR COP for a session run by AASB, Sue Lloyd, who's the vice chair of ISSB. So if you didn't get enough acronyms today, we have the Australian Accounting Standards Board, we have the ISSB, the International Standards Board, and then we also have the Climate Ambition Accelerator, all brought to you by the UNGCNA. So get involved, join us for the Climate Ambition Accelerator, join us in what we're doing, and add value to those climate reporting efforts. Take it away, Greta. I'll hand it to you for the next.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Vanessa. Thank you, Evan. That was really, really insightful. So let's move on. We've got 5 minutes to go. So it is important to mention the, as we see it, defining sustainability event of the year, our conference Uniting Business Life Australia. It is returning to Sydney next month. So on the 13th and 14th of May. This UNGCNA event presents insights from international and national sustainability leaders to solve the most pressing challenges faced by Australian organizations today. Taking place in this milestone COP31 year, with Australia holding the presidency for negotiations, Uniting Business Life Australia 26 will serve as a key moment on this global sustainability calendar, uniting Australian business leaders to showcase sustainability leadership and strengthen Australia's voice on the global stage. The program is tailored to the bespoke needs of Australia's C-suite, including chief sustainability officers, board members, but also current, emerging, and future sustainability leaders. It will equip you with technical and actionable solutions to challenges at the intersection of net zero, nature positive, human rights, and governance. The program is online and registrations are open. UNGCNA participants get a discount in any case, and you can contact us for group bookings as well. Now, the next slide. In summary, the UN Global Compact is how companies step up. It's the United Nations way of helping business turn values into action. So what this means for you? It's UN-backed and locally relevant. We help you move beyond compliance and lead with credibility, resilience, and purpose. We are aligned with global priorities and connect business action to UN goals, positioning you as a principled leader in a volatile world. And you can access practical support. We give you tools, networks, and opportunities to take meaningful action and make the business case for responsible leadership. Our role is to help you cut through complexity, manage risk, unlock opportunity, and shape a sustainable future. So if you're interested in learning more about how to join, but also learning more about the Climate Ambition Accelerator, please either scan the QR code on the slide or click on the link that Farah is sharing. And you can contact us, Farah and I, if you have more specific questions. We are happy to assist. So more than happy to present to your team specifically as well anytime. And lastly, another great way to stay in touch is to subscribe to our monthly bulletin, to which you can sign up via the link being shared in the chat now. Now, let's go to our Q&A. So that's the sort of almost last slide. Don't know if we've got questions. Let me have a quick look. Kate asked a question. What would you advise a multinational startup contributing directly to SDG 13 and not a mandatory reporter with regards to first steps and timing to join UN Global Compact community and completing our Climate Ambition Accelerator? That is a very complex question. Evan, are you able to talk to this in the next 2 minutes, or would you like to take it offline and get in touch with Kate separately?
Yeah, I'm happy to get in touch with Kate, but in terms of the joining requirements, Greta probably can walk you through probably the easy parts of having subsidiaries join from MMEs. There's a bit of technical process there that Greta can do. But if you're not a mandatory climate reporter in Australia, if you're not in that group 1, 2, and 3 catchment, or you don't have reporting obligations yet, I think you're in 2 different kind of spots. Transition efforts can be really, really helpful, and because they're bespoke to Australia, you will kind of understand the landscape and how to better position yourself within that M&E for your decarbonization efforts that are Australia specific. There's also some regional connection ability with some of our other global compact networks. So if they're involved otherwise, there could be some potential there. But also just working through that transition process and how you can kind of drive impact at the individual level without knowing specifically what organization you're in can be really, really helpful. So join us, ask Greta. She'll be able to walk you through offline kind of the subsidiary and M&E trickiness to joining, because it can be actually extra easy in that space. But yeah, there's a lot of things we can do. And if you have any more specific questions about the Climate Ambition Accelerator, we're always happy to chat.
Thanks, Evan. We are at time. I did see another question which went to Vanessa, but we just have run out of time now. I apologize. If we jump to the last slide, please, Lara. If you'd like to give us some feedback, please scan this QR code and let us know what we need to hear, what you loved and what you didn't love, so we can get better next time. So thanks for your time and interest in this UN Global Compact and the specific activities we are promoting right now, the Climate Ambition Accelerator. A big thank you again to Vanessa Main and Dr. Evan Center for joining us today. We look forward to being in touch with you all at some point, and don't hesitate to reach out, and we will be happy to assist you with whatever questions you might have, and of course with joining the Global Compact. That went very quick, so thank you very much for attending, everybody, and reach out to us with any questions. Thanks.